Hasidic master Rabbi Simcha Bunim is credited with saying the following: everyone must have two pockets, a note in each pocket so that she can reach into one or the other depending on the need. When feeling low and depressed, one should reach into the right pocket and find the words, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, the world was created for me. When feeling high and mighty, one should reach into the left pocket and find the words, Ve'anochi afar ve'efer, I am but dust and ashes. These two metaphorical pieces of paper have felt heavy in my pockets over the last week as I have readied myself for one of the most important days of my life. Tomorrow, I will be ordained on this most magnificent bima, which is the very place that I am to serve as a cantor. I have studied and prepared for this moment for 5 years, though really you could say I've been preparing my whole life. And I don't want to overhype this, but this is a really important and holy ordeal. I have worked so hard, and I am prepared to serve this historic community, and I deserve to be celebrated. I know what you're thinking. It's time for our new cantor to reach into that left pocket. Ve'anochi afar ve'efer. I am but dust and ashes. I am a grain of sand, one of many. This week's Torah portion is aptly named Kedoshim, holiness. The parsha begins as God asks Moses to address Kol Adat Yisrael, the whole Israelite community, and Amarta Alehem, say to them, Kedoshim tihiyu, you shall be holy, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem, because I, your God, am holy. We are each made in the image of God. We are each inherently holy. What follows this awe-inspiring and somewhat mysterious statement is what our rabbinic sages call the holiness code, a set of commandments that are ethical in nature and encompass every aspect of human relationships. These laws regulate the moral compass of our Jewish community. In addressing this behavioral code to the entire people of Israel, God is specifying that this holiness is not reserved for the priestly caste to later relay to their people, but speaks directly to everyone through Moses, and in so doing, says that each individual and how they treat those in their lives matters immensely, matters more than anything. Each person is responsible to behave ethically in their own little orbit. More important than lighting candles, more important than keeping kosher, more important than becoming a cantor, God wants us to treat each other with holiness, with care. The world was made for me. I am but dust and ashes. We need these slips of paper in our pockets because there are moments when we must celebrate our unique holiness, and there are times when we must remember that everyone is inherently holy. We should neither be too high or too low, and must constantly reevaluate where we are and adjust accordingly. It is no secret that our individual worlds continue to shrink down, and so many people live life with just one note in their pocket. The world was made for me, and an iPhone in the other pocket. Each of us is guilty of this self-centered optimism. What do I need to do to be successful? What can I say so that my voice can be heard? What should I wear to make sure that I present well? What should I sing at Shabbat services, so everyone thinks I'm wonderful. Trust me, I'm no exception to the phenomenon that I'm describing. The holiness code set out in Parashat Kedoshim becomes increasingly hard to see because our moral compass is not measured by an outside objective good, but is found in our own reflections. This focus on the self, the world was made for me, it makes it difficult to live a life of meaning. We silence the voice that tells us that we aren't more special or more unique than anybody else, that tells us that we're no better than any other person. But the knowledge that we are all trying our best and are simply human is what encourages continued kindness toward one another. This thirst for uniqueness makes it difficult to align ourselves with the stranger and creates division and opportunities for dismissal and rejection of others. When our worlds are so small that we forget the relational nature of humanity, we see other people merely as objects to be used toward our individual goals. We have all been on both the receiving and delivering end of this experience, when we ourselves are in a bad place and because of our own self-hatred, we treat other people poorly. This is why self-regulation is so paramount in Judaism. We need just enough self-assuredness to know that we should not be mistreated, and just enough humility to resist treating others poorly when we ourselves feel inadequate. This is also why treating others with kindness is not a suggestion in Judaism, but a law. We have within us the capability to be cruel, and to curb this, the Holiness Code commands us to treat each other with dignity. This week's portion reminds us that we are a people who figured out who we are in the desert, not in a kingdom. We wander and we work to treat each other with holiness. We may be wandering a really long time, and the way we behave toward the person who bothers us, the person who showed up late and threw off our carefully curated schedule, the person who didn't do what they said they would, it matters. It matters more than anything. The world was made for me. It's easy to believe because I have never wanted for anything. I am dust and ashes. I am flawed. I'm still learning. I'm imperfect. I am a part of a people who cherishes ethical behavior, and in the same moment that I take on this sacred obligation of being a Jewish leader, I remind myself that I have no unique power or access to holiness, only increased opportunities to be with people in moments of holiness and moments of togetherness, to help them see that the world was created for them, to hold their hand when they are dust and ashes. I'm reminded that the purpose of my role is to make others feel seen, to help others find wholeness, and to immerse myself in this incredible community. This opportunity is not for me alone. My hope on this Shabbat is that we all renew our commitment to seeing ourselves in other people, to trying to understand and be kind to those that we feel different than or disconnected from, and to see each other as being created in the image of God. As I become ordained tomorrow, I understand the responsibility and lifelong commitment I make to behave in a way that reflects holiness and to guide others toward their most holy behavior. Kadoshim tihiyu, you shall be holy. May we carry this commandment with us now and always. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. For the call and response of the hope I hear, the thanks and the trust in a God I don't fear, for my relief in a Holy One of blessing, and my belief in a lifetime of wrestling. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. For the flesh and the blood of a body built to feel, the daily desire to know something real, for the quiet of twilight, the raw winter air, the riot of thunder, your hand in my hair, for whispers and screams and the joys of release, the days and the dreams in a home I know peace, for the love from someone who knows enough to leave, and the gift of a life that gives more than I need. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. For the sun and the moon and the shadow I cast, for all my tomorrows and yesterdays past, the rhythm of heartbeat that means I belong, the touch of a feather, the silence in song. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. This is why I sing. All I have I bring.